Welcome to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by LA's First Choice Auto Auction on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. It's your chance to hear directly from the head of Lion Football. Now, live from Topala Catering in downtown Hammond, here's Alan Waddell.
Saturday night, our Southeastern Lions went to Natchitoches and left town with a 17-point win over the Northwestern State Demons. This weekend's win marked the 8th consecutive year Southeastern has defeated the Demons and moved our 2019 record to 3-1 overall and 2-0 in Southland Conference play, moving our national ranking all the way up to number 17 this week. One of the big storylines against Northwestern State was that Southeastern was without the services of running backs Devontae Williams and Marcus Cooper and had to turn to a couple of young players who were certainly up for the challenge. Sophomore Teron Jones rushed for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns, and true freshman Kendall Collins added a 25-yard touchdown run of his own. Southeastern will now turn their attention to the McNeese State Cowboys this weekend with an opportunity to move to 4-1 for the first time since 1980. And around these parts, there's a little extra juice when it comes to playing the Cowboys. So Lion fans, it's officially McNeese Hate Week here in Hammond. Good evening, Lion fans. I'm Alan Waddell, and I want to welcome you to Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction, live from our home Topala Catering right here in Hammond. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be tonight, whether on the Lions Radio Network or watching live with us on the Southeastern Sports Network through YouTube. We'll be with you until 8 o'clock, and over the next hour, we'll get Coach Scelfo to break down this past week's game against Northwestern State. Defensive line coach Raymond Monica is here. We'll hear from him. We'll also get you all you need to know about McNeese State. But first, let's take a break. We come back, I'll be joined by the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Frank Scelfo. Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo is presented, as always, by the Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topala on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topala on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Lions win this past Saturday night, 44-27 on the road at Northwestern State. Lions move their record to 3-1 overall, and more importantly, 2-0 in the Southland Conference. At this time, we're going to welcome to the show the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Frank Scelfo. And Coach, thanks for being here. Congratulations on a big win this past Saturday night against the Demons. It's 8 in a row against the Demons.
Yeah, thank you. It was a big win. Like I talked about last week on the road in this conference, man, it's going to be tough. And that was a team that had their backs against the wall, and they needed a win, and they played like it. They were really efficient in the first half. So we had to play well for us to be able to come out of there. And I thought we played well offensively throughout. I think the first half, maybe defensively, we did some good things. We had a couple of breakdowns that allowed them to get a couple of touchdowns. And but the second half, just a few adjustments and got guys locked in, and we did a much better job.
Yeah, this was a
Hey, how about the crowd here tonight?
Man, great crowd. Certainly, yeah. We want to thank everyone for being here.
It's awesome. Thank y'all.
And just a reminder as well, we do our giveaways. So if you have not entered your name into our giveaway over here with Kimmler Chapel, this week, Coach, we're going to give away a –
Is that semis?
This is a Semi Yarborough signed jersey, game-worn jersey. So we're going to give that away here at the end of our program.
Got a chance to meet him last week. And,
yeah, man, Semi was a really good player.
Awesome guy, yeah.
So we gave away that Brian Bennett jersey last week, and Semi Yarborough this week. That's our two members of the Southeastern Southeastern Athletics Hall of Fame.
Right. Brian scored a touchdown this past week,
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. So for the Saskatchewan, correctly. So, but Coach, let's jump back into this game. This was really the second week in a row where I don't want to say you struggled in the first half, but it was tight in the first half, and you really kind of exerted your will there in the third quarter.
Yeah, and we talked to the team about it. There's nothing. We didn't struggle in the first half. No. They played well, and we made a couple of mistakes. We had a turnover. They got a fake punt on us, and so they made some plays too. But I take exception to the fact that we struggle. I just think we are playing hard against a good football team at home. And we continued to play hard for all 60 minutes. I told the team after the game, if somebody's going to beat us, they better bring it for all 60 minutes because we're going to play all 60 minutes. And if you do that, then that's good. You'll have a chance at the end. If you don't, then, we'll be able to pull away in the second half. And that's kind of what's happened, in the last couple of games with Lamar and Northwestern. So,
Coach, I do want you to touch on the fact that we went into this game. I'm not sure how many fans knew it. I mean, I knew it as part of the radio crew. We didn't really know that we had some guys that had played a lot in the first few weeks that weren't available this week. We talked about, Juwan Petit-Ferrer was not available in this one. Devontae Williams was not available. Marcus Cooper was not available. But other guys stepped up and had some big games in this one. I mentioned in the open a couple of young backs. Sophomore running back out of Mandeville, Teron Jones, goes for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And true freshman running back Kendall Collins out of De La Salle in New Orleans. Yeah. He has a 25-yard touchdown run. Ed McGee had some more quality snaps, kind of filling in there for Juwan as well. But right now, you've built some depth, and it's showing on this football team.
Yeah, it's awesome to watch those guys play. Some of those guys they hadn't been on a road trip. It was Kendall's first time to dress and everything and play and get in the game. He's trying to figure out what stretch line to get into before the game. So, but to see him perform, I think that's where the recruiting aspect is really going to pay off for us, Alan. We're going to build some depth and create some competition. If somebody goes down, which is sport, it's going to happen. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be people missing time. And other guys got to be able to step up and give us the production without us taking a step back. We didn't have that last year. When we lost some guys, we really had to take a step back. And I don't feel like that's the case. So they're part of the game. They're going to take place. They're going to happen. And that's why we continually coach and develop these young guys to get them ready to play.
We had a couple of D linemen that were out as well, and then in the second quarter, Mike Mason goes down with an injury. I know that we don't really have an update on him yet to this point, but so other guys got thrown in there and played well against a good offensive team.
Played well. Drake played well in Mike's spot right there, and then Davion Nasri jumped on the field. He was his first time to play this week. He's from right down the road in Denham Springs, and so we did some things with some of our guys and leading up to this game to get them prepared. And I think that's what we got to do. But that goes back to our coaching staff doing a good job developing our players. It's you recruit them, you sign them, you get them here, but you got to develop them. They're not going to come in ready-made and then you grow them. Coach, I think that's where we're going with it right now.
Coach, offensively, 69 snaps in this one, 537 yards. And, the stat that really jumps out to me is 10 of 13 on third down. Yeah, I thought you were efficient in this game.
Yeah, we were. We converted a lot. Cole gives us a different element, too. And third and short yardage. He gives us a different element that we didn't have before. But I thought our third down production, and it goes back to I think our guys have done a much better job studying our game plan, getting locked into what we're going to do, and anticipating what's going on. Situational awareness is one of the biggest things that we've been preaching since I got here, and I think some guys are starting to catch on, and it's paying off.
Also 4 for 4 in the red zone, so efficient when you got the football down there as well. You mentioned Cole. Cole Kelly has come in and kind of given us that little element of when it's short yardage, he's a big guy, and he can get that. But
he's big, man.
You better not jam the box because he can throw it over your head, and we showed that a few times this year.
Yeah, well. They jumped in on him that one time. CJ ran right past him, and, it was a big play for a touchdown. But Cole does give us that. He has a unique skill set that we got to take advantage of and use him. Jason's not started. He played a heck of a game again this week. But Cole's going to play. We're going to have him in there every week. Greg's got a package for him every week, and we do a good job with him.
You mentioned Chasen Virgil, 24 of 32, 344 yards, another solid. He just kind of rolls out those kind of games. He's been very solid this year, no doubt about it, and he's been efficient with the football.
Yeah, he had the hiccup at Ole Miss, and then since then he's really been lights out. He's played too much. He's working hard. He's focused in on what we're doing, and I think he's starting to grow. He's taken over the leadership role, and with that responsibility, he knows he's got to play well. And I don't think it's any pressure that he can't handle. I think it's what he puts on himself as far as preparing and getting ready to play the game.
Coach, what have you learned about this team? I think this past week, if anything, set up as, I guess they'll call it a trap game. You look at them, they're 0-4. We know they were a better football team than their record at that point, but you're on the road. You have some guys that aren't available this week. Some younger guys came up. They faked a punt in the first half. I mean, we had some turnovers in the first half, gave them some short fields. It just kind of was all the ingredients of a game to maybe get upset in, and you were able to win by 17 there in the second half. What does that say about this team and the growth that you've seen from year one to year two?
Yeah, I just think it's the culture in the locker room and the way those guys are getting along with each other. There's no blame game or finger pointing or anything. Everybody's pulling in the same direction, and when that happens, just think about it. Two guys rowing a boat, and one's going one way and the other one goes the other way. You're not going anywhere. So we got everybody rowing in the same direction and pulling for each other. I think Kendall Collins scoring a touchdown, that we just looked at it right there. Him doing that, our defensive players went nuts because he's been down there on scout team.
Yep.
And our defensive players are more excited than anybody else because they see him every day. And, it's really cool to watch guys come together and really start learning to love and trust each other.
Lions win it 44-27 over Northwestern State. They move their record to 3-1 overall, 2-0 in the Southland Conference. They have a big one this weekend as they'll travel to Lake Charles to take on the East State Cowboys. Let's take our break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of these big plays in the first and second half. We'll get Coach to break those down. And then later on in the program, we're going to have Coach Raymond Monica. He's here. He's going to talk about the defensive line and some other aspects that he covers here at Southeastern. And then at the end of our show, we're going to turn our attention to McNeese State. We'll do our giveaway. So a lot to come up here right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Before the house, before the office, the late nights and new bosses. Before the last hugs, the wins and the losses. Before building the team, before building yourself, the rise and grinds, all day, every days. Before the letter, before the dream, there was a kid who loved to play. If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
What opportunity has Southeastern provided you that you will forever be thankful for?
Southeastern's giving me the education I need for my future. Whether or not I go pro, I know I'm going to be successful.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence and collaboration. Together, we are
All right, welcome back inside.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Welcome back inside Southeastern football with Coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. What we're pointing at up here that you can't see in the audience is Colton has added a little GoPro here, so we got more camera angles than we've had.
So heads up.
It's going to pan over there and look at y'all here in a little bit. So if you're watching at home, that's something new. So certainly we'll give you some more camera angles. Lions win this past week, 44-27 over Northwestern State on the road. This was a 17-17 game right before the half. Lions outscored Northwestern 20-3 in the third quarter and pull away for a 44-27 victory. Coach, a lot happened in this game. One thing I do want to get you to touch on is I can vividly remember sitting here with you last year and you talking about this wide receiver core and how they just hadn't caught any balls. You thought that this was a core that had a chance to be good, and they had some talent out there, but they just had to develop into those type of players. And I feel like our receivers are really playing at a high level right now. I wanted to get you to comment on that. I mean, the way Austin Mitchell running the deep ball and C.J. Turner just fighting for those 50-50 balls. I mean, right now our pass catching has been pretty good through the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job.
Do we have any drops? I mean, I don't remember many.
I don't know if we do. I'd have to check the stat sheet. I don't think so. But Austin and CJ are playing at a high level. And then Branch and Schwabel and Matt DeBlazo had some catches. And then our running backs, we throw our running backs a bunch. So I think the whole thing's being spread around, but we've got some guys who can really do some things with the football. And I think that's where Michael Spurlock has really been such a great addition for us, coaching receivers. They work hard at it now. We work hard. We catch a lot of balls, run a lot of routes. Those guys got to run all day long, and we ask them to. I think Austin played 61 snaps. CJ had 56 this past week. So that's a lot of running for them. They don't blink. Let's go. I want some more. And, it's fun to watch guys develop. Like you said last year, they struggled running routes and just the technique of it and understanding the science of it. And they're doing it now. They're taking it to a new level, so it's fun to watch. And they're on the same page with Chasen. Chasen loves throwing to him, feels comfortable throwing to him, anticipates a lot of throws now, and you're starting to see the results of it.
Coach, I want to talk about a big sequence in this game. I thought going in the locker room, first of all, they had an opportunity to maybe take the lead right before the half. You were able to hold them to a field goal to make it 17. You go in the locker room, and then you come out, and we actually turn the football over. In our territory. They draw up a nice blitz, hit Chasen from the blind side. The ball gets turned over right there, and they get the football, I believe, right around the 35-yard line. Mm-hmm. And our defense does a great job getting a stop. I mean, I just look back at that game, and if they score a touchdown there, you're down 7. They kind of get some juice on the sideline. I thought that was a big turning point in the football game.
It was. And that's 2 weeks in a row defense has come out in the third quarter and held teams to 3 points in the third quarter. And, it's just those guys coming out after halftime and pinning their ears back and going. We affected their quarterback the other night. We had 8 tackles for losses, and we were in the backfield a bunch, a couple of sacks, and we got a chance to get back in the backfield and move him around, get him off his spot. But I thought our secondary really did a nice job of coverage in the second half, especially in the second half. We had those 2 breakdowns in the first half. But the thing I was worried about going into this game was tackling, and I thought we did a good job of that when they did get completion. He completed 33 balls, right? I think right around
35 of 55.
35 of 55. So there wasn't a lot of explosive plays in that. They caught the bubbles, they caught the hitches, they caught the slants, and we made tackles. And that was big. That was huge for us.
Yeah, they had 35 completions. I know at one point with about 10 minutes left to go in the game, they only had about 200 yards passing.
That's right.
They got a lot of yardage there at the end.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter late. So, and we were backing up then. We'd allowed them to catch it underneath and go up there and tackle them. And we philosophically changed up a little bit at the end because we were in a 3-score game. So, we made some tackles. We made some plays on the back end, and that was good to see.
Coach, I also know that, if you stick around football long enough, it's just kind of knowledge. If you stop the run, you have a really good chance of winning the football game. They rushed it 22 times for only 45 yards. I thought we did a really good job against the run.
20 of that was on the fake punt.
Right.
20 that was on the fake punt. So we really shut them down about 25 yards rushing for the game from their offense, and that's huge. And you can talk to Coach Monica here in a minute, but what he's done with the defensive line and those guys up front, man, has been fantastic.
Also, they were 5 of 16 on third down. Got off the field.
Huge. We got off the field. Sure did. And it's not hard to figure out when you go back and look at the stat sheet and you win a game and you go back and look at it. Those numbers bear itself out over the course of time. When you stand on the field on third down and you're getting off on third down on defense, you have a better chance to score points. You get more possessions. When you don't turn it over and you force turnovers, that's a big thing. When you affect the quarterback and you protect your quarterback, that's a big thing. Those things take place all the time, and we've been doing a better job of that.
Also, back-to-back weeks for your offense. When we get late in the football game and you need to run the ball, we've been able to do that.
Good to see, wasn't it?
35 rushes, 143 yards. I mentioned Teron Jones, 18 carries for 108 yards. He had that long run there in the fourth quarter that really put it out of reach.
He got caught at the.
He didn't catch any flack in the team meeting for that.
Yeah, he got a lot of flack from a lot of people. So it was, but it was good.
Well, but you look. There's still, in today's college football, the way people can score and score in a hurry. It's a 10-point game with 5 minutes left.
That's right.
And you're able to run the football, take the air out of it, and score and put that thing away.
Put the game away. Well, that's and the same thing kind of followed Lamar's deal. That was our plan. We're going to run it when we want to run it, and the other team knows we're going to run it. And that's why our offensive line just took over there, created a big seam, and he was able to take off through there. But we'd already gotten a couple of first downs up until that time. We had picked up some first downs in that drive, and then we took it over with the big run and then punched it in. So it was. I thought our O-line really stepped up again this week, played well.
Coach, I'm sure it doesn't. I know it doesn't hurt your feelings that a couple of guys had good games as well. Young backs from Mandeville, from New Orleans. I know you talked a lot about that.
Hey, look, there's good players around here. We're going to continue to recruit. And Ed Reed's from Kentwood. And, we're going to continue to recruit
Ed McGee.
Here.
We don't have Ed Reed.
Ed McGee.
I would like to have Ed Reed.
I'd love to have Ed Reed. I don't know. He's probably lost a step now. He's probably about 45 years old. But this area around here has got good players, and we got to go find them, and then we got to develop them. We got to give them a chance to grow and get them in our weight program and work them out and get them going and give them some positive energy and watch them go. Let's watch them grow up and see how they do.
Lions win it 44-27. You get your first road win of the season. I know you mentioned on last week's show. What was the statistic of the percent?
68%.
68% of the games won in this league are won at home.
Yeah.
So it's hard to win on the road in this league. You're able to do it, and you'll have another opportunity to do it this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be huge. I thought the guys handled the trip well. That's another thing. A lot of these guys hadn't stayed in a hotel. They've dressed out at home for those 2 home games. So this is a chance for them to come on the road, see the routine and how we do things, trying to keep it consistent. That's the way we do it here at home. And so they got a chance to go in a hotel and stay in a hotel and eat food and move around in the hotel, and just it's part of the growing up and the maturation process of our team.
Coach, we mentioned before I let you get out of here and we bring Coach Monica up, I do want you to give us an update on some of those guys that did not play this week. Devontae Williams, Marcus Cooper. What's their status going forward? I know it's only Monday. We'll
try to get them going as the week goes on. And Alex Bowers, our trainer, does a good job. We got a partnership with North Oaks, and they're helping us with everything. So,
but these guys, nothing serious.
Well, they were serious enough they couldn't play this past week. So. But, we're hoping that they get going during the course of this week and able to go on Saturday.
All right, Lions win it 44-27 over Northwestern State, move their record to 3-1 overall, 2-0 in the Southland Conference, currently in a tie for first place in the conference. We're going to look at all the conference standings. We'll get Coach's thoughts on a couple of those matchups that took place this past week when he comes back. But what we're going to do first, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Coach Raymond Monica is going to be here. We're going to visit with him for a few minutes, and then we'll come back with Coach Scelfo. We'll talk about McNeese. We'll do our giveaway. We'll take questions. We got a jam-packed show for you. We still have about 35 minutes to go right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Why do you support Southeastern Athletics?
So Southeastern is where our family started. We met my wife here, met all our friends here, and now it's given us 2 beautiful children, and now it's part of our family.
All right, welcome back. Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. And we're now joined on our podium up here by Coach Raymond Monica, defensive line coach. And, Coach, thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us on this Monday evening.
Oh, this is great. Thank you for having me.
No problem. As I know that you've been in this coaching game for a while now. You're from Louisiana, but an opportunity to come home and coach in Louisiana. Talk about your journey and what brought you here to Southeastern.
Well, I started my coaching career at North Alabama with Bobby Wallace. Bobby Wallace a lot there for giving a young coach an opportunity. I didn't have my degree yet, and he hired me already. So I went straight into a full-time position, and we wound up winning 3 straight national championships. Had a span of 41-1 there, and then we wound up going to Temple University, where I was the defensive coordinator. And then I had the opportunity to be the head coach at Kutztown University in Pennsylvania. Great people up there gave me my first head coaching job, and then I was at Arkansas Tech the last 6 years.
So Coach Monica comes back home to Southeastern, Southeast Louisiana, down here in the Bayou, I guess, so to speak. But Lions win this past week, 44-27. Coach Scelfo has given you a lot of credit at his shows here, also at his press conferences of what you've done with our defensive line. Defensive line playing at a high level right now, one of the top teams in the nation for tackles for loss, sacks. Talk about that group and how they've played through the first 4 weeks.
Well, the thing about it, I got to give the defensive coordinator a lot of credit. Lance Guidry has done a tremendous job with the defense when he's come here. It's really been refreshing to me coming in and learning different schemes. I was a 4-2-5 guy in the past, but it's just so much that I've learned from him. Very fortunate, when you come into a program like this and you got Isaac Berglund, coming in, and the way he played against Ole Miss and the way he plays every week, but the things that you don't see behind the scenes, his leaderships. There's no question, he's one of the captains on this football team, and he keeps pushing the guys each and every week. Josh Carr has played well, has made some big plays for us at defensive end. And I think, we wound up playing 6 different defensive tackles during the course of the year. And when opportunity happens, they seem to step up.
This past week especially, had a couple of guys that weren't available. And what's one area that we feel like we have built some depth, though? And we have some guys that can roll in there on that defensive line.
Oh, there's no question that the defensive tackle right now, we can put 6 different guys in there right now. And I think all of them can do a very good job. And at end, we've created some depth there too, but not as much as the defensive tackles.
We're talking with Coach Raymond Monica, defensive line coach here at Southeastern. And Isaac was actually at Coach Scelfo's press conference today, and we told him you were coming on the show tonight. And he said, okay, well, if he's going to bring him on the show, he's not going to do it, but you got to ask him about the song. Oh. So give us the story of the song and fill everybody in what I'm talking about.
Well,
look, we have some footage of you doing it right here. Look.
Oh, the song. That's pretty good. As a matter of fact, I'm telling them right now, when you sing, it's got to be special. It's after a win. We just don't sing the song just to sing the song. It's got to be after a win. But it was kind of back in North Alabama days when one of the players came up with a song, and each time I changed jobs, we just changed the mascot and different things of where we at, because it's been in the valley. Now over here we're in a swamp. So, but it's amazing how much these kids have just enjoyed it. And, you're walking down the hill, down the hall, and you hear way down the swamp. And they're singing it over and over, and I hope we continue singing it.
Yeah, we got it. So we only sing it after a win. That's
it.
That's the rule. That's it. I'll tell you, Isaac, he told me, he said, hey, if you got Coach Monica on there, you got to ask him about that song.
Well, the thing about it, Coach was doing the press conference and stuff after the game, and I walked in, they was ready to sing the song. I said, no, we got to wait for Coach to be there. He's got to talk to the team. But, after Coach is finished, he said, Coach Monica's up. So it's really been special. It's really been special. The kids have really enjoyed it, and that's just something else that they'll remember down the road once they're going from here.
No doubt about it. We're talking with Coach Raymond Monica, defensive line coach for Southeastern. And I want you to go back a little bit to Isaac and to Josh Carr. And both of those guys have been very productive through the first quarter of the season. And what does it mean when you have 2 guys? And the fact that they can't really slant,
They can't slide the protection
right.
either way. Because, you look over there, you got Isaac on that side, and then you got Josh on the other. Both of them, they're different. They're different, where Josh is real long and rangy, and he's hard to block. Isaac can bull rush you. He's got more power, but he's got the speed too. And then you got some tackles inside. But, if you got 2 guys like that, they can make a lot of things happen. Matter of fact, in different packages we have, Josh is over the center a lot. We played a lot of that the other night. And the thing about it, Isaac has played multiple positions, where he's flexed out a little bit, blitzing off the edge. He's been in interior, been at a tackle. Matter of fact, we've used 4 different personnel packages on the defensive line. Now, substitution sometimes on the sideline, I'm a little concerned about it, making sure we got the right people out on the field. But it's been good to get the speed out there when we need it. It's been good to get the big guys on the field when we need to stop and run.
You talked about coaching with Coach Lance Guidry, defensive coordinator here at Southeastern. He's had a long history of being really a defensive guru in the Southland Conference. If you had to say, hey, this is our identity, what is his identity of what he wants a defense to look like?
Multiple.
Yeah,
I will say that. We can bring different pressures from all over the place. The third down package that he's brought in, I think, has been really good. The other thing, he understands everything so well. You know, we had the lead against Jacksonville, also the one last week. We was just rushing two guys at different times, playing a lot of coverage to make sure we don't give up a big play. But he's very knowledgeable of what he's done. It didn't take me long sitting in a meeting with them that this guy was the real deal, and I was going to learn a lot of football, because you're always constantly learning football, and it's kind of nice where you can kind of sit back. I've been a head coach or coordinator for 21 years, the last 21 years, and it's been really good to sit back and see how other people do things, and just listen, because he's got a rhyme and reasons for everything, and each and every week I understand it better and better.
Well, Coach, we're going to turn our attention when Coach Scelfo comes back up here on the podium to the McNeese State Cowboys, an opportunity to go down there and move to 3-0 this week. I know that y'all are starting on McNeese, getting ready. I know as soon as the game ended, it was time to turn the page to the Cowboys. What are you seeing out of that group, and from your perspective going into this Saturday?
Well, talk about their offense. I think the offensive line does a good job. The quarterback's a tremendous competitor. They got some wideouts getting to make some big plays, and got some running backs that run the football extremely hard. It'll be a big challenge, but I know we'll be looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming by, spending some time with us, and giving us some background on yourself, and also looking into your group and that defense. So thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Coach Raymond Monica, defensive line coach here at Southeastern Louisiana University. We'll be back in just a few moments with Coach Scelfo. We're going to turn our attention to the McNeese State Cowboys right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports, and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
All right, welcome back. Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. As Coach Scelfo,
you know what's killing me? I was sitting over there while Raymond was talking, and they got red beans and rice and fried catfish, and
Did you get something while you were over there?
No.
You only had about 10 minutes.
No, I know. Your dad had some, and he was eating
share
off your mom's plate.
Okay.
No, he didn't share it at all. He didn't share anything. But, golly, that looks so good.
Coach, talk about Coach Monica, what he's brought to the table first year here at Southeastern.
Look at our guys. Look at the results that we're getting. Anytime you have a guy with the experience that he's got that I can bounce stuff off of, he's such a – I mean, he's just got a wealth of knowledge and experience. That's what you want to surround yourself with. And, for him being able to come over here to Southeastern and, heck, he built a house here. And, I'm thrilled to death with what he brings to us, the way he handles our players, who he is as a man. Obviously, he's a heck of a coach. You can see the results on the field. But all the other stuff that people don't see, man, what a fantastic guy. And just a great addition to us.
Certainly, like you mentioned, the results are there. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. I mean, it's ask our players. You just said it. Isaac loves him.
Yeah. I'll tell you, they all said. Isaac told me, "Hey, I'm going to tell all the guys we're going to listen tonight."
Yeah. Oh yeah, they will. They'll get together at somebody's house and they'll be cooking something or eating. They eat all the time. They're nonstop eating whatever they do.
I'll tell you what. Whatever we talk about on this show gets back to them, because I was on the sideline this week and all the specialists came up to me and said, "Thanks for the shout on the Karate Kid headbands."
The headband.
Yeah, they loved it. So
that's a different.
I might have added fuel to the fire. That might be.
Yeah, that's a different group anyway. I don't know. I try to stay away from as much as I can. Tell you the truth, that's just a different group, man.
Woo. Coach, big one this weekend. You're going to go to Lake Charles, take on McNeese, and certainly look. All the games are important. They certainly are, but in certain areas, some games are just a little bigger than others, and to certain fan bases. And McNeese, Nichols, they just mean a little bit more to these people around here. And this is a big game against McNeese, an opportunity to move to 3-0 in the conference. I'm sure they would love to kind of knock us out of the ranks of the unbeaten right now. But talk about the Cowboys and what you're seeing from them. New coaching staff. They're doing some things different. They're still playing good defense. But talk about this club.
They've got a new identity offensively. I think if you saw McNeese over the last 25 years there, high formation,
pro
style coming at you, playing physical downhill football, and they're still a physical team. They're just doing it similar to what Baylor. Coach Gilbert there has a background at Baylor, so it's similar. He was at South Florida, so a lot of the spread stuff, bubbles, screens, take some shots over the top, and then run the football. That's kind of what they're doing on offense, and it presents a lot of problems. You got to tackle well. You got to make sure you're in the right spot, leverage-wise, especially in the secondary. So that'll be important for us, and we'll spend all week long working on that. And then defensively, that hasn't changed. I think McNeese has been one of the more dominant defenses in the Southland Conference in the last 20 years, and that's not going to change. They got 8 starters back. Their defensive front 6 is as good as Ole Miss's, as athletic, size-wise. They run well. Their safeties are committed to the box, and they're attacking their downhill guys. They're a physical football team. Watching film on them today against Abilene Christian, I said from the beginning, I think Abilene Christian's got a heck of a football team. They went out there, lost late in the game, 17-10, but their defense
kind of on a fluke play, too.
Yeah, it was. It should have been an interception and just bounced straight up, and the guy caught it and ran it back down to the 1. But defensively, I really feel like that's their identity. Until he can get the things going on offense, get the pieces in place, they feel like they can win with defense because they're deep and they got good players. So it's going to be a challenge. And look, they're at home. It's a tough place to play. We all know that. Lake Charles is. There's been some success there from Southeastern. You guys are filling me in on a little bit of the history, which is encouraging. But we got to go in there and do the things that we do well. We can't get penalized. We can't turn the football over. We got to protect the quarterback. All those things, I say them every week, but they're true because they do lend itself to wins and losses, and that's important for us.
Coach, this is a club that they're 2-3, but if you look at their schedule, I mean, they're a few plays away from being 4-1.
Yeah, they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and then besides Abilene Christian, Sam Houston's really good this year, and they beat them in a close game, and in Oklahoma State on the road. They lost up there. So their record's kind of reflective of pretty much who they are, with the exception maybe of Abilene Christian, and that's why they're a really good football team. I don't think their record indicates anything different than these guys are competitive.
Coach, I'd be remiss without asking you, certainly one of the storylines I'm sure is going to be in the papers in Lake Charles and all this week is Coach Guidry's going back to McNeese, and that's somewhere he spent a lot of his career and played at McNeese, and now he's over here with the good guys. And but I mean, what he recruited those kids. I mean, what does he know? Or a lot of them. What can he bring to the table this week when you're playing that?
Well,
club?
he and Kerry Joseph both.
Right.
Kerry played there. He's in the Hall of Fame there. Both of those guys have been able. The scheme is the scheme. We see that on film, and we do our due diligence and do the studying of all of that. But the personnel is where we can get some insight in from someone who's been there. So they've been able to help us out a little bit with that and talk about those things. But this isn't, and Lance will be the first one, this is not about him and Kerry. It's just about Southeastern versus McNeese, and he wants to win a game because he's a Southeastern Lion, and we got something we want to accomplish, and McNeese is the next stop on the way. And that's where we got to go through Lake Charles to do it. By God, that's what we're going to do.
We saw the young man's playing quarterback for him. Ogeron was
right.
A Louisiana name, and he played against us last year. So we're familiar with what
yeah,
he brings
and
to the table.
He's doing a lot more this year. He's running. Maybe go through the first and maybe the second reading, and he's taken off, and that's given him some rushing yardage. He's converted some third downs so far this year. So that's just another element that last season they didn't use him as because they were more pro style. So we're gonna have to make allowances for that. There's something in the game plan to make sure that we either got a spy on him or we're bringing pressure from all angles or force him to get the ball out quick. We're gonna have to account for him because he's athletic enough to do some damage.
Lions will play McNeese State this weekend. It's a 4:00 kickoff over in Lake Charles. It's a day game. Afternoon.
Which they never play day games.
They usually play night games.
Yeah.
I remember for years they wouldn't play during the day. It was only at night. And
right.
But they there's been some kind of shifts in the conference, and we're playing some more games during the day.
And we're switching sides. I don't know. I wasn't there, so. But normally their side, they're on the other side.
They used to always be on the opposite side of the press box.
Okay.
And then we were always on, the press box was behind us, and now they flipped that around. And I'm sure just new coaching staff trying to create some kind of new identity. Coach, you mentioned Coach Gilbert. He's kind of out of the Baylor coaching tree.
Yeah.
Wants to do a lot of those same concepts of what we saw Art Briles and all that Kendall Briles doing that over at Baylor. And do they want to be up tempo? Is that what they want to do? I mean, are they running up there and trying to snap the ball? The reason I ask that for our listeners is because they played a lot of their games have been low scoring, and you usually don't see tempo teams that are low scoring games.
Right, they're doing both, so they're mixing it in. Yeah, they're mixing it in, but they feel like defensively is where their strength is right now until he can get the guys in. The receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. By the way, the running back is from South Florida. He's a transfer in, and he's a really good player. So he's a guy that we got to make sure we account for him. But until they get their guys in on offense, they're running a scaled-back version. And then once they get their guys in, I think you'll see more up-tempo. We might see more of it this week. Who knows? It's week 5? For them, week 6 for them, which is it. We talked about that. Here we are, 6 weeks into the season. Wow, wait, 6 weeks already? And you look up and you go, well, we sure are. We're halfway through the season. So, it does go, I guess time flies when you're having a great time, right? So we're having fun right now. Hopefully we can keep it going.
Overall, a series history between Southeastern and McNeese. McNeese leads the overall series 24-20. Southeastern's won 14 out of 21 here in Hammond. Over in Lake Charles, McNeese has won 17 and Lions have won 6. Last time we won over in Lake Charles was in 2013. Played 2 really tough games in 15 and 17 low-scoring games, but came away a little bit short in those football games. And obviously the Lions got the Cowboys last week and last year. And really a dominating performance. Southeastern won the game 23-6. Maybe the best game we played all last year was that McNeese game at home.
I think so. I think we played well. We played really well defensively, and then we took care of the football on offense. So I think probably for all 3 phases, that was probably the most dominant game that we did play.
Well, let's take a look, Coach, while we have a minute. Colton, you got the Southland Conference standings we could throw up here on the screen, and we'll talk about those in just a second. But this conference is we're off and running.
Houston Baptist is in the top 25 now, and who would have thought that? I keep telling people every week, man, you better bring it.
They're leading the nation in scoring, too.
Yeah. So every week you better bring it. If you don't bring it, somebody's going to knock you off, so it doesn't matter who you are. And, that's when you look at that, where everybody is, and it's all subject to change, week in and week out.
The only 2 teams right now 2-0 in the league are the Lions and Sam Houston State. Houston Baptist is 1-0. Central Arkansas is 1-0. Nichols 1-0. UIW and Stephen F. Austin are 1-1. Abilene is 1-2. Then you have the other teams that are 0-2. And McNeese right now, they're sitting at 0-2 in the conference. This is another week, back-to-back weeks, where you're kind of playing a team, kind of a wounded animal.
Absolutely.
They're pinned up against the wall, and at McNeese, their standard is make the playoffs and take a run at conference championships. And if they're going to do that, they got to beat us this Saturday.
That's right. That's why to understand anything different than doing your best this week or last week or next week, you have to do that week in and week out in this conference because the games mean so much. It's not like you just throw your hat out there. That team's not going to be very good. All the teams in this conference are good, and I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. We can win them all, and we can lose them all, and so can everybody else on our schedule. So I think that when McNeese, their preparation this week, for us, it's a must-win. They have to win. For them to stay in this thing and have a chance at all to go into postseason play, they have to win this week, and you have to understand where their perspective on that.
One of my best memories of being with Southeastern Athletics and Southeastern football was in 13 when the entire stadium was almost empty and all you could hear was SLU coming out of that stadium. So we hope that you can make the trip over to Lake Charles. It's a nice ride over there, and come over and support Southeastern. Again, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff.
Love to have everybody.
If you can't make it, the game will be televised on CST and ESPN Plus. And before I say that, I got so many texts.
You're about to get killed on this
I got so many texts this weekend about. So just to kind of clear some things up, if you do not have Cox Sports, which is available on Charter Cable, you cannot watch it on ESPN Plus. So unfortunately, just the way where we're at, we're not a Cox Sport or a Cox Cable provider, so it's only on Charter. So if you have DirecTV, you can't get it. So I know I got a lot of texts, a lot of messages about that this weekend about, hey, how do I watch the game? But that's the situation. So why did I pay for ESPN Plus if I can't watch the game?
I'm not watching it on TV.
No, I was there, so I saw. I had a good view.
I'll be there. So I don't know. Miss Bentley's over there still mad at me.
So
I didn't even do it. I don't have anything to do with it.
So, but if you can't make it, you can also listen right here on the network. You can listen to the.
What about are we streaming it? Would we be doing that?
No,
that's
not football. That's a conference deal. You can't stream. Because of ESPN Plus and CST.
Y'all need to come to the game.
That's right. So if you
need to see everybody there, it's awesome. Good.
It's also going to be on the radio. You can listen to Mark Willoughby, Robbie Rhodes, and myself right there from Lake Charles.
It's even better if you sat in the stands, watch the game, and listen to you and Mark.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
I think what a team.
I'd say that's one of the reasons I enjoyed doing as part of this is when I'm down there, I have my headphones in and I'm listening to them. I feel like I'm at the game and listening to the radio. So really enjoy that. All right, let's take our final break. We come back, we'll do our giveaway. We'll take any questions. We'll finish up some last-minute housekeeping, I guess, so to speak. We got a big tailgate over there in Lake Charles. We're going to tell you all about that right here on Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student-athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made, once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
Welcome back. About 5 minutes left to go here on Inside Southeastern Football with Coach Frank Scelfo, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Tow Plow and on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Coach, I want to thank our crowd for coming out here tonight. Great crowd on hand. I want to thank Tow Plow for being our host.
Yeah, you know, please give him a round of applause. I want to thank Dr. Crane for being here, right?
Yep.
Normally obviously he's the most important person that comes to this thing, and he's not tonight, though. He's not the most important. We got Doc Goodwin over here. Everybody give him a round.
No doubt about it.
Sorry, Dr. Crane. Doc Goodwin's big time. That's the guy, man.
No doubt about it. Lions are taking on McNeese State this weekend. Saturday, 4 o'clock kickoff in Lake Charles. Southeastern coming off of a 44-27 victory over Northwestern State. Moving to 3-1 and 2-0 in the conference. And I mentioned this earlier. It's, a lot of the times these schedules are kind of front-loaded with FBS opponents and stuff, but first an opportunity to get to 4-1 for the first time since 1980 here at Southeastern certainly would be a big deal to get off to a really good start. Have not been 4-1 since the football returned, in the early 2000s. So I know that doesn't really mean anything to you. You want to win them all.
Yeah.
But that just kind of
some context. I go 1-0 after this week, man. I'll be happy. That's for sure,
No doubt about it. Coach, you want to go ahead and do our giveaway? Let's do our giveaway. So, again, if you haven't been a part of our show, we do this every week. We have a giveaway. We've given away helmets. We've given away jerseys. This week we're going to give away a Simi Yarborough signed jersey, game-worn jersey. So we're going to give this thing away. Again, at the Inside Southeastern Football with Frank Scelfo, we have a clear bag policy.
Sure do.
To make sure we're not cheating here. So we have a clear bag policy. And
I don't look at the names.
Pull one out for us.
Here we go.
Drum roll. I mean, one of those drum rolls.
Can we get a drum roll on here, Kim? Huh, Colton?
There you go.
There we go.
All right. Harris Beal.
Harris Beal.
Look at it, my man, Harris. Former line.
Yeah. Harris just got here. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. As no doubt about it. So we're going to be doing that every week, and what I usually do is Kemmler sends me the who's going to be here during the week, and then we know their giveaway, and I try to announce it at the end of our radio broadcast, so during the game, so you can know on Monday what to be expecting. Well, Coach, we just have a couple of minutes left to go here on our show. You're coming off of a nice win at Northwestern State, 8 in a row against the Demons. You're getting ready for McNeese this weekend, and it's a back-to-back in-state rivals. These games are certainly important when it comes to recruiting. I know a lot of times with McNeese, you're on the same type of kids. Give us your final thoughts of the night as we get ready for McNeese this Saturday.
Yeah, and you said it. It is important for a recruiting standpoint. They come over into Southeast Louisiana. They need to stay in Southwest Louisiana. We need to keep them out. So I'm talking to all the high school coaches and the recruits out there. Stay at home. Stay here with us. Keep those guys out of here. We don't need them over here. They can stay on their side of the state, shut down I-10 right around Lafayette, and they can have that half. We'll take the other half. And we'll just do it like that. But it's a huge game for us. Obviously, it's the most important one because it's the next one. But be able to put us in that position to win this week again on the road. Now we come back home for a couple more. We'll have some home games after that. But being able to come on the road and getting a win at a place where, you read the numbers a while ago, it's a tough place to win. That we've had a tough place to it's been tough for us to win there. So I think it's really important. We got to play well. We got to take care of the football. Our guys will be ready, and I told them today they got to play 60 minutes. If they're going to beat us, they got to play all 60 minutes, not just 30, not just 45, not three-quarter. They're going to have to play all 60, and because we're going to bring it for 60 minutes.
All right. Well, the Lions will be in action this Saturday, 4 o'clock. There will be a LAA tailgate in McNeese. They're going to start at 1 o'clock. If you haven't been to one of these, make sure you check it out. They do a great job. They have plenty of food and drinks, and it's awesome. So make sure
I might go by there. That'd be good.
They got good food.
Maybe not.
They always have some big cookies there every time. I always grab one of those right before the game. Also, with our radio partners, the Supreme Toyota Gulf Coast Bank lineup tailgate party is going to be from 12:30 to 3:30 on Cajun 107, Highway 104.7, and the Boss 103.7 and 1400 AM WFPR. So we'll have our radio stations are going over there as well, so they'll be broadcasting the tailgate party as we're making this a big game because it is. It's an opportunity for the Lions to get to 3-0, to stay on top of the Southland Conference. We're off to a great start. We got to keep that momentum going this week in Lake Charles.
It's huge. I hope to see everybody there. Just turn that stadium green and gold and get as many people as we can. It's going to be a good game. I promise you, it'll be a very good game, and we do the things we need to do. We'll come out on top. It boils down to that.
Also, our radio broadcast, play-by-play action, will start at 3:30 for the pregame, so you can join us right there as well. That's going to do it. We're completely out of time. We want to thank everyone for being here today. We want to thank Topla Catering for being our host. For Coach Frank Scelfo, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next time on Inside Southeastern Football. Frank Scelfo presented by the Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Topla on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. See you next time.
Broadcasts on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network are a product of Lion Sport Properties. For more information on how you can support future broadcasts, Lion Sport Properties is available at area code 985-549-2570.